Alright, what's up y'all, Take a Fan here. As you can see by the title of today's video, we are introducing Rate My Build series in NBA 2K22 Next Gen to the channel. Essentially what this is you guys send me your builds on Twitter and I review them. Simple as that. Now we will do a lot more of this if you guys do enjoy. I left an example of what for people to leave and stuff like that, and we reviewed a lot of these. I kind of subliminally reviewed all of them myself as well to see which ones I wanted to put on the video. We decided on 3 of them, so I hope y'all enjoy. But like I said, lots of people left their feedback and I really do appreciate this. So if you guys want to see more of this, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new, turn on the noties, all that good stuff. And like I said, let's try this one to 1,000 likes. Alright, so first and foremost, we got my boy Dante right here. ISO guard, 3v3 in the park. You can see we're going to expand the build right here. I also did create all of these myself to duplicate them, as you guys saw. So we're going to use that in the My Player Builder on 2K rather than me looking at this image on Twitter. But I just wanted to show you guys the image of this. You can see it's a 6-foot guard, 6'3" wingspan, has actually 75 driving dunk for the quick drops off 1 and silver limitless takeoff. I'm assuming he went for as well. 32 shooting badges, 32 playmaking, and 22 defense. Pretty solid overall. Also has the ability to get bronze chase down artist too, and bronze intimidator. This really is a super interesting guard build. I haven't actually seen something like this before myself. I haven't inspected too much into the 6' to 6'2" point guards or anything like that, and I'm not gonna lie, this actually does look pretty solid. One of the main reasons I haven't looked a lot into the 6' to 6'3" point guards or anything like that is because it really does take a hit on your ball handle speed with ball. Generally a little bit of 3-pointer, but this is more so tied to wingspan rather than height. But either way, having this 3-point rating right here at 95 does stop you from getting a couple key badges on Hall of Fame. So blinders, hot zone hunter, deadeye, things like chef aren't exactly super necessary, but either way, you guys get the deal. Things like hot zone hunter, deadeye, and blinders are very nice to have. It also stops you from getting Hall of Fame unpluckable as well. Now you're not losing out on a whole lot of playmaking badges, to be honest with you, with this. So it really doesn't take that much of a hit. You can see he actually didn't max out his speed with ball or ball handle rating either. Took it down 1 tick from 94 to 93, and then from 93 to 92 as well. Does get the gold clamps as well. Actually still has 96 steal rating for the Hall of Fame pickpocket. So I gotta say, shout out to this dude right here. Actually put together some really good attribute ratings and exceeded a lot of different caps that are really interesting as well. You're gonna see here too, actually reached the exact rating he needed for bronze chase down artist. I'm assuming this is exactly what he went for with this wingspan as well, because with this height and wingspan is probably the exact cutoff you can get for having a lot of the key shooting badges and for having a lot of the nice ball handling stuff. For instance, at this height, you still achieve the Hall of Fame quick first step. And again, I think that's exactly the cutoff he needed for having the bronze chase down artist too, which again, I don't know if that's a huge staple in what he wanted with this build, but I gotta say, this is a very well-rounded point guard build. I'm not gonna lie, this looks really clean. You still have 58 vertical as well for some pretty decent jump contests. You're probably not getting anything super spectacular or anything like that, but still gold bullet passer. You do get, like I said, the 75 driving dunk for silver limitless takeoff and quick drops off 1. Simple as that. It's really nice, I gotta say. And then for the takeover options, pretty standard. Shot creator, sharp, playmaker, and lock. Simple as that. I would say sharp and lock would be really interesting as well, but a sharp, playmaker, and lock are all pretty good. Shot creator takeovers are good, but more so specifically for 2v2 rather than 3v3. But either way, this build overall looks really, really good. And I'm not gonna lie, he really woke me up to a build that I actually didn't have any really good indication on before this video right here. This actually looks really good. It achieves a lot of caps. Like I said, the quick first step, the 96 steal rating for Hall of Fame pickpocket, gold clamps, bronze chase down artist with the 57 block rating. I don't know if it's going to be super reliable with this height and wingspan and vertical and all types of stuff like that to actually get consistent chase down blocks, but he probably knows better than me after playing with the build. And one thing I do want to talk about with this series is if you guys want to submit builds that you're thinking about creating rather than ones that you've actually played on, I would much rather do that, because I kind of want to give you guys some advice on what I would change about your build before you actually make it. But I did go through and kind of sort for this first video a lot of builds that I do like a lot of the ratings on. And again, I would like to make some revisions on this, like I said, and maybe you guys could send me a little bit of suspect builds, right? Things you're considering making but haven't done, because this one right here looks very well thought out, super well planned, and really I have no revisions I could even think of with this one, because he clearly put a lot of thought into this. If he did want to though, I would say the difference between 55 vertical and 58 wouldn't be tremendous, and to have a little bit of strength could maybe be something that would be worth doing. Me personally, with all my guards with Kitchen and AK on all the guard builds that they've made so far, I have advocated for putting strength up for defensive purposes. I do think it helps a little bit with the bumps on the perimeter, and for only the trade-off of like 3 vertical rating, because he clearly just threw it on the vertical to just have its extra ratings, because as you're going to see, if it goes below 55, it drops a driving dunk from 75 to 74. So 55 is the bare minimum he probably wants. And then again, he did have 58, and I feel like you could drop that off for a little bit of strength to maybe help you on the perimeter with like perimeter defense and bumps and stuff like that. But either way, it looks really well thought out. It doesn't need a lot of revisions, and I think everything about this actually looks really well. All right, next up we got my boy Garrett submitting his 6'8" build right here for 1v1 and 2s, an ISO option like a play glass center at center for 2s. So essentially he wants to line up at the 2 spot with this on 2v2, and again, and also 1v1 court option. So with this, you can see he's 6'8", 190 on the weight, 7'4" wingspan. What's really convenient about being 6'8" and 7'4" wingspan that I already know before even, like, I'm square staring at this stuff right here. I haven't even looked at the actual build, but what I do know is at 6'8", 7'4" wingspan, you unlock 80 ball handle, as well as the ability to get, as you can see right here, 80 3-pointer. So if he didn't even upgrade the mid-range, it would still allow for Hall of Fame sniper. It allows pro dribble moves as well at the 6'8" spot, and I gotta say, the 7'4" wingspan is comp at that 6'8" position. And we've already talked about this too. This is what I believe to be the stage meta build for 3v3. Now for 2s, that's a whole different story. I do feel like the lack of interior defense does become a thing, but anyway, again, we're gonna switch to the builder real quick and showcase this build to you guys. All right, so as you can see, 6'8", 190 on the weight, 7'4" wingspan. I'm going with body shape built. It really won't matter, obviously, but either way, just choosing what I usually do for these lock / big men builds. So we have 80 driving dunk, 71 standing dunk. I know some people might be a little bit skeptical over 71 standing dunk. I vouch for this really hard if you're gonna make like a popping big. Now, the one thing I'm probably gonna suggest that would be changed on this build is to have such high mid-range. The only super key difference of a badge that you actually lose is gonna be Hot Zone Hunter. As you're gonna see, we could have this literally all the way at the minimum that it's allowed. And the only thing that we're really losing, as you can see, fade ace, difficult shots, the ability to have those, things like rhythm shooter and obviously, you know, volume shooter and stuff like that. The only thing that's super important is 83 mid-range for the gold Hot Zone Hunter. Me personally, I don't think that's that big a deal. You can see the badge count definitely will drop off a little bit though, but I will say to have the 83 pointer alone is perfectly fine if you ask me, but we will touch on that toward the end of the actual build review. But anyway, you can see 71 pass accuracy. I'm sure he just put this in for the extra. I don't think he actually cares about gold break start or anything like that, considering it's a 2v2 or 1v1 build. So the only thing it really is here is it's just an extra attribute rating, I'm assuming, that he put at the end of the build, and it's able to give him 20 playmaking badges. Again, I think this is really fire to have 80 ball handle, 74 speed with ball. The 73 interior defense is a little bit of a thing where, you know, he's probably planning to play ISO a little bit, where he's not really planning to set a lot of screens for that 2v2 spot. And again, for 1v1, it's not that big a deal to not have any brick wall, because clearly it's not going to be that, you know, that much of a problem. Because, you know, clearly he's not setting any screens on 1v1 court. But I will say, silver is still pretty good to have. I think to be able to stop yourself from getting backed down by people on the 1v1 court would be really convenient as well. But realistically, this looks really good overall. The one thing that I really will knock on this is the vertical rating. I don't like that vert being 65. I don't like it for chase down blocks, rebounds, whatever the case may be, jump contest. I would like for you as a 6'8" who's playing either lockdown or that big man spot for jumping for rebounds, again, chase down blocks, all types of stuff like that, to actually have a pretty good vertical. Now, again, this is where I feel like the direct trade-off of dropping your mid-range to the minimum that it can go to while still having good three-pointer would actually be pretty convenient. You can see if you put it directly into vertical, it's going to allow you to max that out, literally. Now, I don't think maxing it would really be necessary if you're someone who already was okay with having it at like 65. I do think like at least 85 would be very doable though. And again, we really could just put this to the max right here, put it at 89, put the rest into stamina, and then the rest into free throw. Call it good, honestly, and I think this actually looks pretty good. I don't think you need a lot of shooting badges with this build, and we'll go ahead and even hit the test builder real quick to show you guys what it would look like if you put these shooting badges on this build right here. All right, so with this, I don't want to make too much of a stretch and sit here and say that 17 is the perfect badge layout, but I will say I do feel like, me personally, I would love to have that vertical rating, and I think this is definitely doable to shoot with. So the one thing I will say though, you definitely want to put your 4 shooting badges from college, or, you know, for doing the rebirth or whatever the case may be, on the shooting. You're gonna be able to get catch and shoot and blinders to at least the silver level on this, and I don't really think you need any upgrades on anything other than that. Deadeye maybe to silver, that'd be convenient. I don't really think Green Machine is really worth that as a badge. And again, Lucky 7, I mean, maybe if you're really trying to cheese on 2s or 1v1 core, I could see the case for this. And also, what I really do want to say as well is I do understand the ability of having mid-range being really convenient for 1v1 court too. So for the sake of him and how he wants to use his build, I do understand to an extent. Another thing that's worth mentioning too is having that mid-range rating makes a lot of these badges cheaper too. So for me to have Sniper, it costs 6 to have it on Hall of Fame, whereas with that mid-range up, it probably only costs 5. Hot Zone Hunter is 3. I feel like that doesn't really change, but maybe it does. Corner Specialist isn't affected by mid-range at all in any aspect in terms of the badge cost or the badge level that you get. But either way, some things like blinders, Hot Zone Hunter, they are affected by that mid-range rating not being up. But either way, I really do like the ability to have that vertical on this build. But other than that, honestly, even if he wanted it with the mid-range and no vertical, I still think this looks pretty good. But it is a bit limited in rebounding, if you ask me, and playing good defense and stuff like that. Me personally, that's just how I feel about vertical. I know some people might have a difference in opinion on that, but that's mine. All right, next up, we got our boy Goku Trico right here. Shout out to Pokemon. But you can see he says mostly 3s, sometimes 2s. He's on a 7'2" build right here, 225 in the weight, which is pretty much minimum, I believe. 8-foot wingspan. We'll be making a couple adjustments to this build right here. You can see he has no perimeter defense at all. He doesn't have ball handle or speed with ball either, but I don't really advocate for that anyway. His close shot and standing dunk are both chilling at 90, 85 post control. I do like that for the sake of getting all the badges you would want on Hall of Fame. I'm sure that's what he was thinking as well. Again, has his mid-range up all the way. The one thing I don't like about the 7.2s and 7.3s, unfortunately, with the max wingspans, is that they don't get 80 mid-range. So if you did want the Hall of Fame sniper, that would be the incentive to actually upgrading your mid-range, if you ask me. Now, if you wanted to be super well-rounded with your build, yet still be able to shoot the ball, I would say the same thing for what we just talked about with Garrett's build right there, where he had the 6'8" that has mid-range up. If you ask me, I feel like you could be a lot more well-rounded with this if you drop your mid-range down and don't worry about it. I understand though, some people do like the fact that they can have the post-fade aspect of their game, maybe pick and pop to the mid-range, whatever the case may be. Again, to talk about what he wants to play, Pro-Am isn't really included in this stuff, so again, it's all about 3v3 and 2v2. I do really feel like you want the perimeter defense when it comes to if you're not going to be playing on the Pro-Am with this. If you're planning to play, like, truly play Park and like 2v2 and 3v3, I think that perimeter defense is a must, if you ask me. All right, so again, we have 7'2", 225 in the weight, 8-foot wingspan. Again, I might maybe make a difference in the wingspan and go down one tick. You can see he still actually has the ability to have 97 block, even if he drops that wingspan. He still has the ability to have 91 rebound ratings as well if you drop that wingspan too. So you'll still get the gold rebound chaser, all types of stuff like that. One thing I didn't like about this build is that it only has gold brick wall too, which if you were to go like literally anything up on the weight, I believe you could actually still get the Hall of Fame, because this actually caps out at 94, I believe, right here for this build, whereas 95 interior defense would allow you to do so. 85 pass accuracy, really good. Obviously, we like that on every build. If you wanted to go with 70, it's understandable. But 74 three-pointer, 79 mid-range. It's pretty standard for any like 7'2", 7'3" max wingspan build that you're probably going to have ratings like that. 75 driving dunk, that's really clutch. The silver limitless takeoff, again, we do like to see that. 90 standing dunk, 90 close shot, really good for a lot of the key finishing badges that you like on the interior. I will say, with this build right here, it's really hard to achieve all these finishing badges being applied, where you, again, you see he has the 85 post control, and he probably thinks, you know, I'll be able to run things like Hall of Fame back down punisher, drop stepper, stuff like that. But honestly, when you do the math on it and you have to run fast twitch, mouse in the house, grace under pressure, limitless takeoff, rise up, all types of stuff, gold posterizer, I mean, the list goes on, and it's really hard to total up to all those badge counts right there. So like I said, we're going to make a couple different adjustments. I'm going to pop right now on the screen what we have for the revision. Also, as I'm doing this, ironically, I literally see one tick up on the weight gives you 95 interior defense to be able to be applied. I don't know if he really cared about brick wall when he was making this right here, but that's a very easy revision right there to just go up one tick on the weight. However, we are planning to go down on the wingspan one tick right here to be able to get that 80 mid-range and get us the ability to have the Hall of Fame sniper. Now, again, I'm probably going to try my best to keep this build at the ability to do so. And another thing too that I want to mention, it doesn't hurt that our driving dunk is going to 74, because again, all you need for that silver limitless takeoff is 74, not 75. So it's very convenient for that. And again, I don't see any really big things that get hurt right here. I mean, rebound rating does go down one, but it is still like 92. It's not that big a deal. You even go down one tick even further if you wanted. It's really not going to see any noticeable difference. But anyway, I think 7'11" wingspan and 226 weight is perfect. You don't lose any speed, any vertical, anything like that. I mean, you can see it's a very beautiful build. I mean, the 7'2" with this layout right here is really good. Again, we're going for that Hall of Fame brick wall. We're trying to keep the gold rebound chaser and still get the Hall of Fame sniper as well. All right, so here's the revision that I got. Pretty much all I did was I dropped the post control quite a bit, to the point where all you really achieve is gold badges in those categories. I don't really think it's that big a deal. 76 can still hold on to the ball, pretty manageable. I took the free throw down, but I will say one thing revision that I would make if he wanted the same level of free throw that he had on the original build, where he had like 58 or 56, you could just take the O board down too. You don't lose any defensive badges at all. You're able to get your free throw to the exact exact same level that you had. I think 60 is very hittable, but I will say I think like 70 is definitely what I'd advocate for. And again, if you really wanted to, you really could just drop your pass accuracy down to probably like 70. This right here, if you're planning to play 2s and 3s, and that's about it, you don't really plan to play Pro-Am, you probably don't need anything more than that if we're being honest, because you really could just go at 70, and to have Silver Bullet and, you know, not that many other necessary badges is pretty convenient. I mean, realistically, if you have 70, you're probably just going with Silver Bullet, Bronze Dimer, Bronze Needle Threader, probably like Bronze Post Playmaker, and Bronze Floor General. I don't know if I'm missing one, but either way, that's not too hard to do. And even if you have 85, again, I mean, you have like Gold Bullet and like Silver Dimer, but at that point, if you're running Silver Floor General too, that's probably your 10 right there that you even need. And yes, maybe things like Needle Threader and Post Playmaker be convenient, but you don't need any special delivery, any break starter, anything like that. I mean, realistically, you probably could go to 70, and then just like that, you could really increase the finishing stuff that I took down right here. For instance, you could just take the post control back to 85. You could maybe even cash out and go to 93 close shot, which is going to give you Hall of Fame Mouse in the House and Grace Under Pressure. I do think 90 standing dunk is a pretty good area to go to if you're not going to go to Hall of Fame, so that's pretty understandable. And then maybe we go to 92, actually up the block to like 98, which makes the Rim Protector 1 badge cheaper. Sorry, I don't know why I said it like that, but anyway, it's going to make the Rim Protector badge 1 point cheaper. You're going to go from 6 to 5, and you're going to see we actually get an extra badge point too. So realistically, this is a pretty good revision to make right here. And then again, we could just pump the rest into free throw and call it a day, 75, just like that. So I do feel like making either the revision on going down on your post control or pass accuracy to be able to get things like steal, perimeter defense, as you saw in the other build, was like 27. And also, again, a couple different things in terms of we want our interior defense to 95 for that Hall of Fame brick wall. We want the mid-range shot to be at 80 for the Hall of Fame sniper. And then again, I really do feel like having 93 close shot instead of 90 could be pretty convenient. Hall of Fame Mouse in the House, Hall of Fame Grace Under Pressure. Yes, it is super expensive to get these badges. You can see Mouse in the House is 7 and Grace Under Pressure is 6 right here. And then I don't really think the post control related things are actually really that good of badges, but I will say Drop Stepper has been putting in work on the No Money Spent series. I don't think it's really that much of a like crutch, like when you have a 7-2 build like this that could still have its close shot rating super high and its Mouse in the House and Grace Under Pressure all the way up, because you can really just mash people in the paint and go up with horrible takes, if we're being completely honest. But anyway, this is the revision that I would make with this. I really do feel like it looks a whole lot better if you ask me, and this is why I do want you guys to submit these builds in this format, maybe ones that you plan to make rather than ones that you already have, because I would like to help you guys a little bit and give my input and give a couple thoughts on, you know, the way that you're setting up the build and stuff like that. One thing to be said about the way that he created his build though, and I can't really go back to the one that I already had. I should have shown you that I didn't get sharp takeover on that version of the build, but on this one right here, for whatever reason, I have a lower 3-pointer on this with 74 than the other one does at 75. Yet this build right here gets sharp takeover and the other one didn't, and I don't really know any differences that I made. These were the only 3 takeover options I had on the other one, was rim, glass, and post. So if someone wants to leave in the comments who's also a build guru on that and wants to let me know why that's the case, feel free to let me know. Maybe it's just the fact that my rebound rating is too high on this, or my shot blocking or interior defense is too high, and it just sees so much more value on rim or glass takeover rather than sharp being an option. But anyway, that's all for the video. I hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, drop a like, sub if you're new, turn on the noties, all that good stuff. And like I said in the intro, if we get this 1 to 1,000 likes, I'd really appreciate that. If you guys want to see more of this, feel free to let me know. Like I said, leave in the comments. If you want to submit your builds to me as well, I'll be posting on Twitter when I want to get these. I don't want you guys just randomly showing me on Twitter your builds or anything like that. Just follow me. If you want to turn on noties, I would appreciate that, but I do be tweeting random stuff, non-2K related. But anyway, like I said, I will be posting whenever I want to see images or screenshots of this stuff right here sent to me, and I'll be doing them for the review on these videos. So other than that, I hope y'all enjoyed the series, and again, let me know if you want to see more. If you made it to the end of the video, put review in the comments to show supports me all the way through, or put build in the comments to show supports me all the way through. Other than that, hope y'all enjoyed, and take it easy, man. Peace.